welcome back to the matriarchy party. We're recording the end of October here, and the weather has finally shifted, and we have such a fun guest today. But before that, we'll start with a party of one before we get right into it. And as far as me, let's see, what updates do I have to give you? It feels like I've been home for 5 minutes and also 4 weeks because I finally started counting the amount of planes, and I think I'm on 61 planes this year. And so I was back from Budapest, and then I was home for a week, and then it seems like every other week I've been flying to New York for like a day for work. And so most recently I was in New York for New York Comic Con with Blumhouse, which I hadn't worked with before, which I'm not a horror spooky girl fan, but they are like the best in the biz, I think, when it comes to spooky things. So my husband was very excited to hear that. And I got to just work with some of my favorite women at the studio and some new faces that have moved to other studios that I was like, oh, wait, hold on. That's always exciting to like be delighted with the team there, and then really cool, actors on these movies for the Blumhouse panel. So we captured some social content and captured BTS of the panel happening. Comic-Cons are always such a fun, wild beast. I know I talked a little bit about San Diego Comic-Con this summer, but it's just an energy unlike anything else. And as much as I don't read a lot of comics, I've worked on a lot of superhero movies as it is. And I'm just a fan if you're a fan. I love what anybody's excited about, and like their dreams are coming true. That is one of my favorite things. So let's see. I feel like I've been doing a lot of admin work since I've been back, and I finally decided I need to scale my company, which is like it's scary, but exciting. And I think it's time. I think I have 2 overlapping projects next year, and which is usually everybody always knows that they need an extra set of hands about 2 weeks before the job. So being booked this far in advance is very exciting. I'm very proud of it, but I'm also like, oh, SOS, I need help. So it's a very exciting. It's like, not that I'm like into quoting a lot of Bible stories, but what is that? It's like the guy in the boat, and he's like, there's a flood, and he's like, God's gonna save me. Don't worry, when like people come to rescue him. Like I've had many people that are like, hey, I can help you with your business. And I'm like, no, I like just having it me. So it's like, and then like a few people approach the guy in the boat and are like, no, we're here to save you. And he's like, no, God's got me. And then he dies. And then he's like, wait, I thought you were gonna save me. And he's like, I sent so many people and you just ignored all the rescues. So that's kind of how I feel in a very weird way of like, oh, I think there's been enough like flags waving my way of like, it's time to like hire a team, and which is exciting and scary. So that is the latest and greatest, very top line updates for me and Worth Digital Relations. But that's my party of one. Let's get into the good stuff. I'm so excited because it feels like an old friend, but also a new friend, Olivia Marks. She's reporting live from London. This isn't live, but she's an entertainment journalist. Surely you've seen her interviews on Instagram and TikTok specifically. But she lives and breathes all things film and pop culture, very similar to me. In that way, Olivia's matriarch today, we're going to be talking about is her mom and Lady Gaga, which, well, I'll say she's been a Lady Gaga fan, a little monster for 15 years now, and her proudest moment was being given the opportunity to interview her. And let me just tell you, we talked about this because essentially I've been running into Olivia when I'm with clients coming into her studios for interviews and social pieces for years, and like on red carpets, and we're like, hi, do we know each other? Like a couple times a year. And then finally I got to a point this year that I was like, wait a minute, we're so similar. I see you every few months with clients. Like, can we be friends in real life? And we were able to get coffee together, and it was just like we've been friends for years. So she's super inspirational to me because, well, my brand is asking for what you want. And she, as a huge Lady Gaga fan, like has been manifesting, interviewing her. And then so just seeing like the Joker 2 press of her having time with Lady Gaga, seeing Gaga like really, Olivia always has such great niche questions because you see talent gets asked, especially when you're in a press junket day, the same 5 questions that journalists sometimes feel like they're so innovative. Like, I bet they've never thought about this. How did you prepare for the role? And you're like, I've answered this 27 times in 100 different ways. Olivia always has the greatest, most like niche and specific, like she's done her research, great questions. And I love that about, she just does the work. preparing, and you could tell Lady Gaga was just taken aback, and you'll have to check it out on her Instagram and TikTok after this. But Lady Gaga was really touched with her preparation, touched about like the Lady Gaga like full circle moment that you pulled out that was like a part of Joker 2. And there was a hug at the end, which I know with me meeting Ginger Spice last summer, it feels very like when you're a fan of somebody for a very long time. What, like, we're all just trying to make our like 10-year-old selves over the moon and excited. So I had to share that because I love that you're a huge Lady Gaga fan. And I love that that moment happened for you. I was just like smiling from ear to ear. So without further ado, welcome to the party, Liv.
Thank you for having me. And that was like the best intro I've ever been given. So thank you.
Oh, come on. You are a superstar, and everybody who sees your work, just I feel like your passion for, well, film and pop culture is so contagious, and you're just so good at it and good at your job, but also like the social component of it. Like I feel it just to convey what you want to convey in such a short amount of time and those like social snackable assets. As somebody who consumes a lot of that, you've always been really good at that. I think I even was like, I follow you on TikTok. One of the first times that I was like, have we met, or we've just seen each other inside your studio every few months? So I'm rambling, gushing over you. Thank you for making time so late.
Thank you. And I remember that was the first time we met. When you came in studio, you were like, I've seen your TikToks.
Yes.
I was like, I've seen you many times.
So like I think I'm like,
we need to be friends.
We have to. Come on, let's meet up. And so then we were social media friends, and then next junket, hotel, dark hallway, we were like, okay, we're doing it. I'm in town. This is my window, and we made it work, and that was great. And yeah, now I feel like we'll be seeing each other all the time now that we just pulled the Band-Aid off of real phones. But well, the clock's changed. Thank you for still making the time when your world has been rocked today.
Thank you. And I got an extra hour of sleep, so it's fine. Well, I'm not complaining.
Oh, it's forward. Excellent. Good. What does your shirt say? Mysterious something.
I actually don't know, but we just had Billy Crystal in, who was trying to read it, and I'm like, I don't know what this shirt says.
That's so casual.
All I know is it's getting cold here.
Yeah.
So I had to throw on the jumper. I think you're right, though. Mysterious.
It's mysterious, but then what's underneath
and then
it?
A bit at the bottom.
Mysterious time for us to shine. UT8. I don't know. That's cool.
Better than Billy Crystal.
Well, sorry, Billy Crystal. I was like, it's pink and red. It's Valentine's colors. I need to know more about it because that's my favorite. How's your week going? What are you working on?
Yeah, it's good. It's really, really busy, especially because my colleague is off this week. So it's just a ton of like interviews, junkets. I like forget what I get up to in the week, which is worrying. What have I done this week?
You blacked it out already. You're like,
yeah, that is exactly it. I know that I've got the Paddington junket happening on Friday and Saturday, which is really exciting.
Very exciting.
I'm a huge Olivia Coleman fan, so I will be reuniting with her on Saturday, and she's like my fave.
Well, doesn't she love you? I feel like that was one of the things that I was like, that's major. Like a pinned post on your page of her saying something sweet.
It is a quote in my bio. It's
okay, got it.
Yeah, when I first interviewed her years ago, she was like, "Oh, she's my favorite." So I will proudly take that title.
Thank you. Here's your crown.
Thank you, Olivia.
Absolutely. What a legend. I just love all of her acceptance speeches, I feel like. I mean, among Fleabag and everything else, but she's
iconic.
Everything she says.
The last time I interviewed her, she set off a fart machine app on her phone during a junket.
I love her.
Does it get better than that?
Come on. No. You just be yourself, honestly. Everybody, I get like from the PR perspective of like positioning yourself and emulating other people, but I'm like, some people, I feel like everybody should be able to get away with just being yourself, but she seems authentically herself and setting off fart machines like as she should.
It doesn't get better than that.
Mix up the mundane, like use a fart machine app. Wow, that's amazing. Well, I always start this thing off when we think of a matriarch, we think of a woman who's the head of their family or tribe or organization. When in your life have you felt like you had to demonstrate those traits, whether by necessity or not?
Ooh. When have I felt like I've had to demonstrate those traits? Well, I'm the eldest of 4. So I feel like that comes with a lot of responsibility,
Mm-hmm.
um, and a lot of pressure, being the eldest of four as well,
Eldest daughter
being the
too. Whew.
older. Yeah, exactly. It's a lot of pressure.
Sure.
Um, so I'd say like
Since you were born,
since I was born,
I feel
this
that.
is what I do, Courtney. Yeah, I feel like in some way that, like being the eldest, you kind of always have that pressure.
Sure. Well, and I don't know.
Have you got siblings?
Yes, and I'm the oldest daughter of four. I have a twin brother, and my
What?
little sisters are twins.
How did
Yes.
I not know this?
I mean, I
This is
just,
another thing.
yeah, of course we are. I think, and I don't even like, of course, parents don't get a handbook. I say that all the time because, especially seeing like friends, and my twin brother has a baby now. Um, it's just so like, oh my gosh, you never appreciate all the things that your parents do until you're a grown up and you're like, oh my gosh, how do they do this? And they were younger than me. I don't get it. But it's not something that they like put me in charge, but I don't know why I thought I needed to like be the little boss. Like when I was like a baby, I was the spokesperson for my brother, came out of the womb talking, just coordinating. And I'm like, why is that instilled in me? Why? What's
Mm.
like chemically or physically, like, why does that happen to the oldest daughter? I don't know. But I know it's a real thing. I know every eldest daughter, I'm like, you need something to get done? Ask an eldest daughter to do it. She has no time, but she's going to get it done.
It's that whole thing of setting an example as well.
Sure. Yeah. It's like be good
Um,
because you have people following in your footsteps and take care of your siblings. I'm sure you've heard that.
mm. Yeah, so I'd say that probably.
Yeah. What does your ideal morning routine or day off look like?
I'm quite lazy.
That's fine.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna beat around the bush.
No, let's hear it.
Um, my ideal day off is getting to binge stuff, getting to
Yeah.
watch stuff, watching a movie, catching up on a series, a bit of shopping, going for food. Food, I'm a big foodie.
Yeah.
So grabbing sushi,
Tell us some of
having a
your
nice
favorite restaurants
sit-down
in
meal.
London.
Oh my God. Okay. There is a sushi restaurant. I'm Northwest London,
Okay.
called Oka. They do have a few of them around, but the original one is in Primrose Hill. They've got one in Marylebone as well. It is the best sushi. It's amazing.
I got to write this down right now.
Oka. OKA.
Okay.
Sensation sushi. Um, it's pricey, but it's not like the level of like the very expensive
Okay.
sushi. That would be my dream lunch out.
Mm-hmm.
And just like going on a nice walk. I love to walk. I like to, when I'm like traveling around London, I like to walk if I can, if I've got the time, rather than getting the tube and driving. I kind of walk everywhere. So going on a nice long walk. And I was just talking about going for a massage with someone before. She was like, you really need a spa day.
Yeah.
And now I've got that in my head. Like, I need a spa day. So a spa day as well would be ideal.
Yes. You're like, how can
Getting
I
a
somehow be
massage.
productive and relax on my day off?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
always me. I get
But
that. Well, because you're going
yeah,
nonstop every day.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not a gym girl. I'm not going to lie about it.
I
I
like
go
live your truth.
about
You walk.
once a week. Yeah, I walk. I eat quite healthy. But I'm not I'm not a gym rat.
Well, that's okay. You're walking.
You
I feel like
really?
you find something you don't want to dread. Yeah, I am. And I will say I really got burnt out of just piling my schedule too thick and all the travel and like had to take a break. It's been a minute. So I'm like getting back into it. But I really wanted to learn about lifting weights. Like I grew up dancing and doing cheer and I love bar and I really like wanted to like learn how to lift heavy weights. And so I started working with a trainer and I love it. But I was doing HIIT for a long time and it's like it works, but like it will kick your ass and you want to throw up and I'm like I don't want to dread the workout. I'm like I know it's going to be a painful 30 minutes and it works, but and now I don't know, the older I get, I'm like, how about just an exercise you're actually going to do a few times a week? Maybe not like cry about. So I'm like, oh, lifting feels like hard, but I'm not dreading it. I'm like, ooh, I'm excited to push myself. But
Yeah, that's the thing. It's finding something that you enjoy. And I feel
yeah,
like I don't have that with the
totally.
gym. I know I like boxing, but I just need to be proactive and go to a specific gym for
Yeah.
that. And then I enjoy it.
It
And then I
it's
won't
all
complain about going to the gym.
totally. I think it's just like I feel like I need to kiss some more frogs with workout classes, but I'm like I don't want to go to Barry's boot camp and get like the shit kicked out
No,
of me. Like that's
no, no.
it's starting, we're trying to lower our cortisol levels. I would rather I love walking too. In Arizona part of the year, it's just not conducive to walking when it's like 120 degrees Fahrenheit. So, but we've been going on like little family walks with my little small beasts that have to stop and do a million pee mails. So it's not like very exercisey because we have to stop and sniff all the things. But anytime I can walk, I love walking. I love being in London for that reason because you just walk. I mean, in New York, it's like any other like real city. We're a real city, just not a walkable city. But what does success look like? I feel like I'm just like going in for it here. But what does success look like to you now? How do you think it's evolved from like your teens and 20s?
Feel like a big part of success for me and how it's changed is genuinely being happy rather than it being money focused, which
Mm,
is what I thought that success used to mean. Um, like earning a shitload of money. But I think success for me, it's now more important for me to be doing something that I genuinely love and genuinely care about and being fulfilled.
mm-hmm.
Um, I have so many friends that hate their jobs, but they earn crazy money, and for them, they would be classed as successful. I couldn't think of anything worse than going to work and not being happy and not being excited about my day job.
Yeah.
So I feel like that's success for me. Um, I mean, I'm very ambitious. There's so much that I want to achieve, and I put so much pressure on myself, and I'm an absolute perfectionist. Um, but I feel like the most important part of success is being happy and being good at what you do.
100%. I think I think there are two kinds of people in the way of people who can go to work and they clock in and they collect their paycheck and then they leave it and that's just their job and that's it. That's a job that they do, but it's not their whole identity. And for better or for worse, the second category of person, it's like you're doing things on the side, you're working on side projects, you're connecting and doing all types of work. Like you're living, eating, sleeping, breathing this job. And it's your career and it's your dream. And I mean, so much of my self-worth is attached to my job. And
I'm exactly the same,
it's
which
like,
I know is not
it's
the
not
healthy.
healthy, but like, I
And
know that's who I
I
am.
wish it wasn't like
I
that as
know.
well. My job is so passion fueled
Sure.
that they go hand in hand, as with you as
Yeah.
well.
Well, 100%. I'm like, I know I could probably be making a lot of money in sales, selling like, uh, um, pharmaceutical sales or something like that. But I'm like, I've been in jobs where I'm like, oh, I'm good at this, but it's sucking the life out of me because I know it's not what I was meant to do. And now I found myself in this thing that seems like very niche. It was a perfect storm of relationships, skill, experience, and timing and knowing your worth. And it's to be paid money to do my dream job seems like beyond my wildest dreams. And I will never stop being grateful for it. But I think I can't turn that off of that little voice inside of me. And I know what it's like to not have that. And you're just like, and I remember talking to like friends. One of my best friend's husband was like, you make more managing this retail store in a past life, like a decade ago, than most of the country does with a combined income, like with two people, like a family. And I was like, yes, but YOLO, I have to like see what's out there. Not that like every day's a dream. Like it's not that you don't have stress. It's not that like there are things about your job that you don't like or like, and we want abundance and favor and opportunity and money to be showered upon us, but like being happy, like that's the goal. And what a
Yeah.
privilege to be able to have both. Like you're able to pay your bills and be so passionate about your job. But this is a reminder, if you're not happy, like there's a reason that voice is inside of you guys. Find the thing. You got to be happy. Yeah, we are so similar in that way. Tell us about a time where asking for what you want paid off.
Oh, I feel like, I don't know. Trying, I was struggling to have a think of this one. Uh,
I'm like, I feel like you were probably talking to Warner Brothers about like, they know your love of Lady Gaga.
You know what? Yeah, let's go with that. Yeah, I mean, there are so many times in this job where I'll do loads of interviews and everything, but sometimes the interviews will get other people within my organization will get priority over that. With Lady Gaga, that was like I had to do that. You know, she's partly one of the reasons why I wanted to do the that I do now. So, you know, I told work like if we get Gaga, I have to do it, and they were just really, really supportive. And I think part of that as well is working for a long time and trying to gain the respect that I have and trying to prove, look, I can do this. And I feel like, I don't know, it goes hand in hand with your question, but persistence is also key and never giving up and not being afraid to ask for things if you can show that you are hardworking, and that you are persistent and that you take things on board and that you listen and all of those things. I feel like you shouldn't be scared to ask for what you want, because if you don't ask, you don't get.
100%.
Yeah. So I'd say like there have been loads of times where I've tried to push to get to be the person to do an interview. I remember during like when Gaga had done promo for House of Gucci previously when I was working here, I made it really clear that I would love to do that interview, and work kind of knew that, oh, Liv's a massive Gaga fan, she should definitely do it. But I wasn't the one to do it in the end. And I feel like maybe had I pushed harder, or maybe it just wasn't the right time, you know?
Right.
This time I made sure, I was like, if this happens,
I'm the only
one.
person that you're
Yeah.
putting in that chair.
Definitely.
For sure.
So back then, a few years ago, House of Gucci era, did I ask hard enough? Probably not. I kind of like let it slip and was like, do you know what? I need to prove myself more.
Yeah.
But for this one, I was like, no,
Well, and
I'm going
maybe
for it.
we didn't know each other a few years ago, at least in IRL, but I feel maybe it wasn't the right time. I am such a believer in life's timing, and it's like,
I am beyond excited about the new Bridget Jones film that's coming out
yeah.
next, because that's like my favorite film franchise.
Oh,
I love
good.
it so much. So I'm manifesting
Yes.
this
Your Renee
interview.
Zellweger interview, huh?
I have interviewed her before for Judy, which I adore that film.
Oh, so
She won the Oscar for.
yes.
But I am
That's the
hoping
moment.
for Bridget Jones interview, and I hope that you'll be there as well.
I can't wait for us to work on that together. That's going to be great when that happens. I see it now. So it's going to be what a millennial's dream is, like a project like that.
Oh my God, yes. So that's my most anticipated film for next year, for sure.
I love that.
I'm not ashamed to say it.
No, listen, I love it. I love when it's like, we don't have to be so precious of just going with like the artsy, powerful. There's place for all types of movies. And like, I saw My Old Ass recently, and I'm like, this is my favorite movie of the year. I love it so much.
It's really good.
It's so
really
good. I laughed, I cried, and it just was like, I just need a little break from there's so much stress on TV and movie. And I'm like, was just a delight.
And I love Aubrey Plaza.
Obsessed with her. I'm
She's one of
obsessed
my
with Parks and
favorite.
Rec. So did you see, I mean, you had a fun interaction with Amy Poehler too, that I'm very jealous of. That she
I
said
did.
something like she knew who you were. What did she say?
Yeah, I walked in and she was like, I watch your TikToks all the time.
Yeah.
Your interviews.
I'm
You're
dead.
such a good interviewer. It was like the person that I was least expecting to say anything like that. But she's so cool.
She's so cool. I mean, we just rewatched. It's like, I don't have time to consume all the content that we need to for work. And sometimes I just want to comfort rewatch. So I feel like I've watched Parks and Rec a lot. Like, it's just, one of your comfort shows. But when I saw that, I was like, she's like on my vision board for dream clients. And I saw her very funny video that her and Aubrey Plaza were like voting, and they did this sort of lip sync from Parks and Rec. And I was like, oh, my heart can't take it. But I remember that compliment because I was like, are you dead? I'm dead for you. This is amazing. What a compliment. We got to get into your matriarchs. This is so exciting. I've already spoiled it, who we're talking about today. Your mom and Lady Gaga. This is so exciting. Yes. So Did your mom work inside the home, outside of the home? Like, did you grow up being friends? Did you bump heads?
Um, so my mum, she's a stay-at-home mum. She is the most patient, incredible mum, woman in the world. Like, honestly,
Oh,
talking about her makes me want to cry
oh my
because
gosh.
I just love her so much. She is my best friend. We never argue. We never have argued.
Oh,
She is, she's just a saint. I'm like, I only wish I had her energy. She's so relaxed, just so easygoing. You'll never meet a more easygoing, relaxed person. When I was growing up, there were like no rules. I wasn't like an out of control teenager. And I think probably because of that reason as well, she kind of just let us get on and do what she was never worried about me going out or, when I used to go clubbing underage, like drinking underage, she didn't really care. She was just like very easygoing and caring, but not too precious over us. Yeah, she's just the most amazing, amazing mum. I'm much more similar to my dad. And we do butt heads a
how
lot.
funny.
We're more like angsty and on the like non-stop.
Yeah.
Um,
You're like
whereas
high energy
oh yeah.
and your mom's like the chill, calm.
So chill. But also she's just like the funniest person and we will just sit for hours crying with laughter. We both have the same sense of humor. We love the same things. What I love about her as well is that she doesn't care about pop culture, anything like that. She's never like bothered about the people that I interview. A lot of the time she'll be like, "Oh, that's cool." She doesn't have a I'm a very obsessive person. That was the word I thought. Very
Ah,
obsessive. And my dad is exactly the same. Whereas my mum couldn't be more opposite. Like she finds it hard to fathom the idea that I am so obsessed with a woman, Lady Gaga,
yeah.
who has or had no idea that I existed.
Yeah.
Like she finds that she can't
She's like,
understand
can't
that.
relate.
No,
I
she
don't get
can't
it.
relate. My sister's exactly the same. My sister's quite similar to my mum.
Mhm. And
Um,
you're like, let me impress you. This
Yeah,
is,
and
come on.
she will just let me follow her around the house with my phone, forcing her to watch all of these videos and everything.
Cute.
And she'll just sit there and watch, even though
Oh,
she doesn't care.
well, that's a mother's love. How many
Makes me
stories have they
happy.
heard over and over? How many things have they done that they were like, I'd rather do anything else but this, but that's a mom.
Yeah, I mean, I call her at least twice a day, and she will always answer, even if she's, out and doing a million things. She's always there, and I, yeah, she's just her patience and everything is honestly inspiring.
Well, I was going to say, what inspires you or what do you admire most about her and Lady Gaga?
Her whole attitude, my mum, just how she's got time for everyone. And she does everything without complaining as well. You'll never
It's
hear her
hard.
complain.
Wow.
Um, I'm I moan and complain about everything. I make it so known. She just quietly, you wouldn't know if she was having a terrible day because she just doesn't want to ever upset anyone or put things onto other people, which I find incredible. And then in terms of Gaga, I can't not mention her. She honestly, how much that woman means to me is ridiculous. Um,
How old
I
were
used
you
to
when you
sit in my
started listening
I
to her?
started, so it was 15 years ago. I was, I'm 29 now. So I must have been what?
15 or so? 14?
Yeah, around that
2015?
age. I'm terrible at maths.
So it was like half of 30, right? Ish. Around 14, 15.
Yeah, I just used to sit in my room watching her speech from the Monster Ball on repeat, talking about never giving up on your dreams and believing in yourself. I just saw her as this woman who was so empowering and didn't give a fuck about anything and was like, this is what I believe, this is who I am, this is what I want to achieve. And I just found that so amazing. And at the time, she was kind of the only person that I saw doing that.
Yeah.
Obviously there's people that came before her, like Madonna, who was also, you
Sure.
know, stood
Cyndi
for the same thing.
Lauper, the people, but like of this
Exactly.
generation.
It was Gaga for me. Um, and everything that I felt like growing up, she kind of like, I cared so much what other people thought, and I had big dreams, but I always thought they were a bit weird, and I always felt like I maybe didn't fit in and I wasn't like the rest of the girls. Gaga was that for me, and she made me think it doesn't matter. You can be you and you can do whatever you want to do. And I just used to watch interview after interview. It's actually how I got into her. I remember Just Dance being on the radio and me being like, who is this woman? She's everywhere. And I was like, it's actually a bit annoying. And then one day I got home and I must have gone down an interview rabbit hole. And I was like, this woman is a genius. Who thinks like this? And that's how I became obsessed.
I love it because that seems very full circle of like why you're doing celebrity interviews now. Like because you consumed so many Gaga interviews like years and years ago. Well, and you know which video I can never skip when it gets like algorithm pushed to me
Tell
on
me.
TikTok is you're gonna know what concert and song, but they're doing the dance. And she's like, I see you out there. You
Yeah.
wanna come up here? And it's the kid in the orange and he crushes the dance. And I'm like, the dancers are helping him and we're gonna move. And I'm just like, oh my God, I tear up. And I'm like, this is, it's just magical. I feel like every time I'm like, and she says something empowering, like, see, believe in yourself and this. And I was like, you're right. I need to believe in myself. It's so good. I love it. I love that video.
Yeah, you can't skip that video when it comes up on the timeline. You can't.
No, you can't. And I just also saw when I didn't even know this at the time as like a 2005 girly who was obsessed with the hills and Laguna Beach. Lady Gaga was on the hills and like Lauren was like dressing, like gave her, she had the disco stick. I was like, oh my, what? She's got, like, she was a brand new artist then. And like,
Yeah.
they were just treating her like, oh, this up and coming girl, Lady Gaga. I don't know. And I was like, that's crazy that they were more famous than her at that moment. Like, what a world.
Yeah, she went from performing in the IKEA parking lot
Yeah.
to becoming the woman that she is today. And I do feel like if people look back on her career and they see the meat dress and they see all the crazy outfits, which by the way, always had a meaning behind them.
Sure.
They were always
She's making a
it was
statement.
artwork. It was genius.
Yeah.
People look at the old Gaga that started out with Just Dance, Poker Face, Telephone, and they see her now, and I think no one would believe what she's carried on and what she's gone on to achieve. Like she's, to me, reached legendary status.
Of course.
The things she's done and the versatility that she shows, doing A Star Is Born, all these movies,
Yeah.
singing at the Oscars. She's done so much. It's incredible.
And so young. She does it all.
She does it all. A new grandma.
Aw. How old's the baby?
She is coming up to 3 weeks old.
Oh my gosh, very fresh.
Very.
Auntie Liv.
She's not going to answer, is she?
She's not.
Look at me being like, she always answers.
She never misses a phone call from me.
She's like, oh, she's calling me again.
I just talked to you.
Oh.
She'll come back. Well, if you could say anything to your mom, what would it be?
You fucking rock.
I love it.
You're the best. And yeah, you're just amazing.
In so many ways. I love it. I want to meet her. She seems so calming and like
You would
just
love her.
peaceful.
You
and
would love her.
what's her name?
Oh, hey, she's there. Hi. Oh, she's the baby. This is a surprise call because I'm on a podcast and we're talking about our matriarchs and the people that inspire us. So I was talking about you. So they wanted to get your reaction.
So I wanted to say hi. Hi. I'm Courtney. I wanted to say, if you could say anything to your matriarch, which is you, what would Liv say? Oh, you look the same. You have the same smile. You have the same
I
face.
said that you rock. I told you she'd be so chilled.
Yes.
I'm talking about how chilled you are.
I've got this little one.
Oh, fresh. A very fresh baby.
Yes.
Yeah.
So what
No, I was
Sorry,
just
what
saying
did
that you are. I was talking about you and Lady Gaga being my matriarchs.
Oh, I'm quite different to Lady Gaga, aren't I?
I was saying that.
But I love Lady Gaga too.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because your daughter loves her so much, you can't resist it.
I know.
All right.
Well, you sound
I'll
like an
see-
amazing human, and she said so many inspiring, sweet things about you that she's learned from you, and just how you make space for everybody, and there's always time for everybody, and you're just so calm and chill and peaceful, and just like what a wonderful home life any of us could ever dream of is like living in a space like that.
It doesn't sound so accurate, mate.
It is.
No, I am quite chilled. It's only because
Right.
everybody's huge, loud personalities. So
You got to balance it out.
quite chilled. But yeah, Olivia is my girl. She is my bestie.
I can
All
see
right.
why.
Speak to you later.
Thank you for picking up.
Bye. Bye. I told you.
Aw,
She'd
she
be
was.
like,
She was
"Oh,
just like, oh,
okay."
really? Is that me?
This is what I mean. This is what I mean.
And second of all, she looks so gorgeous and glowy for just like, oh, I'm just home with that baby,
She's
like
like there, like in her.
camera ready.
I don't even know what she's wearing, but like.
She looked beautiful. I'm like, anybody we would surprise FaceTime would be like, no, please don't put. So lovely. Well, Olivia, I'm so proud to know you and be friends with you, and I love what you're doing, and I'm always so excited to see what you're cooking up next, and can't wait to cheer you on from afar, and just all of your dreams coming true right before my eyes. So I'm excited for you. I'm proud of you, and even just knowing you a little bit, I know what you're about, and I love you a lot, and I appreciate your time today.
Thanks, girly. And I can't wait for you to come back to London.
I'm actually coming in a couple weeks. I need to text you.
Stop.
It's
Message
just,
me.
I will message you.
Message me. We're doing something.
Well, yes, absolutely we are. Thank you for your time and scrambling when the time changed. I'm sure that like rocked your world, so I appreciate you. Guys, if you want to see more of what Olivia is up to and all of her cool interviews, especially the Gaga one, the Amy Poehler one that we mentioned earlier, follow her at Olivia Marks, both on Instagram and on TikTok. And you can follow Matriarchy Party on Instagram as well. And thanks for coming to the party. If you have the gift of having the ability to call your mom or grandma or mentor or favorite pop star that you love and adore, call them, message them, tell them you love them, ask them about their life, get out there and make it a great week. Thanks, everybody. Bye.